and welcome to the very first episode of Stark's Armory. I'm going to be your armor forger, STARKBOND, and joined with me is my good and personal friend, Chenko08. Chenko?
Hello.
How's it going, man?
It's going. This is going to be kind of interesting. I've never done a podcast before, so...
Neither have I. So, I mean, let's just give people a little bit of background on what we're doing here. This is a safe and awesome place to just talk about what we like to do. And that's play video games, read comics, watch movies, and genuinely just be dorks.
Yeah, very nerdy activities.
Extremely nerdy. We are not very physical men in any way, shape, or form. We sit there and applaud ourselves when we can plumb. So
hey, plumbing is an adult thing.
It is, and it's a very manly thing, especially to us. With that, just a little background. I myself, STARKBOND, am a 26-year-old IT man. I've been playing video games since I probably could talk, maybe a little after that. And have been a very avid Destiny fan as of late. I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky, even though that just came out Tuesday for PS4 and was just released on PC. And so that's me for now. Janko, I'll let you talk a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I guess very similar background with the way you put it.
We are not the same person.
We swear. No, I believe I'm 26 years old. I haven't checked, so I could be wrong.
Where's my watch?
Yeah, right. Also work in IT, doing lots of random things in IT in general. It's really hard to describe the IT field to like anybody.
It's a hodgepodge of electricity and computers and stuff.
Yeah. It's like telling someone you're an engineer. Like, that's so incredibly vague. You don't know what it is.
What do you engineer?
Yeah. But, so IT, and same as Stark, I started really early on with video games as well. Like, I don't know if it was quite as early as, before I can talk, but it was easily since, I've been 6 years old, and, I think Doom was my first game. I can't even really remember anymore.
Well, I mean, for as long as I've known you, that's kind of been what you've told me, at least. Like, Doom
was
the
earliest. That's the earliest I can remember.
See, for me, I go a little on more of the G-rated. Like, my first game had to be Kirby's Dream Land. I mean, the pink puffball, dude. he appeals to the 4-year-old me.
True. I had neighbors, back when I was playing Doom and stuff, I get the feeling my parents as a whole didn't really know what I was playing, or didn't associate violent video games as a bad thing maybe to do with 6-year-old
I was
kids.
Gonna say they didn't hear the blood screaming and the blood curdling and the rah rah,
or they just didn't care. It's one of those two things, right?
That's parenting in general.
But I definitely recall the neighbors next door having I think it was it must have been an NES or something, because they were playing some kind of Mario game.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I want to play that so much.
I want it, but Doom and aliens and hell and beautiful. Well, all right. So that's a little bit about ourselves. So I guess I'll just open this up with the question that I plan on asking any friend or guest that I have on this podcast, YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it. Chenko, if you could describe for me just a little bit, how have video games or comics or movies contributed to you being the person you are now? And that's besides just being a major and total nerd.
Gosh, that's a really tough question.
It's loaded, right?
Let's see.
Now, it doesn't have to be big. Could just be a quick little, I am who I am because of it, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, nerdiness aside, being in love with, the comic books and video games and stuff like that, I mean, it very clearly, I think, steered my choice in career, very early on. Because,
right.
Like you play video games and your first instinct is, oh, I want to make those.
Exactly.
And then you find out, oh my gosh, this is so incredibly hard to do.
It'll be so easy to make the little pink puffball like go across the screen, or have the enemies come up and all pixelated, and I just shoot them in the face and they die. That won't be hard at all.
Yeah, like for the longest time that's a hobby of mine, I guess I should be clear. Like I make video games as a hobby, and trying to make your own video game and then realizing that you're making video games that people in the 80s made, that they made with significantly inferior technology, blows your mind and just kind of kills the inner child a little bit in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, considering the ridiculous amount of technology we have now, I mean, for goodness sake, we're recording this on a phone that fits into my pocket, and I'm going to be uploading it via a game system. So, I mean, that's how far technology has come. The fact that we have a computer in our pocket and access to the internet through every TV.
The internet's.
Al Gore, you and your tubes.
The other things that influence my life, clearly the internet is a very big influence.
I think, and as a disclaimer, we'll say that's kind of a cross IT thing.
Probably true. Although, like, I think there's a very clear cut in generations for that. Like my coworkers, like they're nerdy, but like, so like most of my coworkers, the place I work at, are like a good maybe 30 years older than me. Their careers are older than my lifespan. So like old people, and like the differences in like how we think are just, it's amazing.
Right.
Just kind of like not very old school nerdy is probably the way to put that.
So are you talking like 50s Poindexter nerdy, or like
a mix of that and like old Star Trek nerdy probably be
like original Star Trek nerdy?
Yeah.
Like Shatner overacting nerdy.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Just not quite like picking up on like I'd call like the internet culture aspect of the nerd kingdom.
So what we're pretty much trying to describe right now is nerdiness pre-internet and post-internet.
Yeah, actually really is.
And we're getting a little off topic, but that's okay. That's what this is about. I mean,
I'm sorry.
No. I'm fine with that. I could talk about the internet all the live long day. Like, and you know, I think that could be heck an episode or 2 or 5 in its own. Like, you know, you have the people, the people who their nerdiness, they grew up on comic books and the original sci-fi TV shows like the Star Trek, the Lost in Space.
Oh gosh, Lost in Space.
Yeah, Danger Will Robinson, right?
I can't remember the last time I saw that.
Campy 60s Adam West Batman, like that kind of nerdy. And then you have the nerdiness that is today post-internet, where it's well, we have the luxury of good graphics and CGI and all that jazz, but
like just how fast the culture changes because of the internet.
And it's almost become mainstream too, right?
Yeah.
To a point.
Yeah.
Like the internet is almost being used as a verb now. Like, oh, you just interneted that. I don't know of anyone who says that other than me just saying it right there. But
I'm going to internet.
I'm going to do an internet.
Internet, Google, whatever.
The Google.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Another IT staple.
Have you turned it off and back on again?
Oh.
The bane of our existence question.
Actually, no.
You know, I actually use that as a joke for my mom because I'm kind of like internal IT for my family.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime she says, "Can you help me with this?" I just say, "Have you turned it off and back on?" And that's all I give her.
Oh, I can't give my parents that much crap about it yet, but it always starts off that way first. Like, my Wi-Fi is not working. Okay, well, try turning it off, turning it back on again. Oh, it's working. All right.
Yeah, but then suddenly you're Jesus. You're the savior.
And now I have to do everything.
Yep.
install Doom on every single machine my mom owns.
Yeah, that's right. Your mom is a big Doom junkie, isn't she?
She is, and it's the weirdest part, I feel, of Doom that she's like a junkie for. Like, she loves exploring the space and having a map that shows her that she explored the space, and like that's it. She doesn't actually like killing things too much.
So do you think she'd kind of like the like maybe Metroid Prime genre, or not Metroid Prime, but Metroid genre, that kind of sci-fi explore, go and re-explore?
I really feel like she would if she would pay the amount of time to get used to like that kind of controls.
Gotcha, because she's used to keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, right? And like keep in mind, like her idea of 3D is Doom.
Yeah.
So like I feel like wrapping her head around I'd call it a true 3D game as well.
Right.
Is a whole other problem.
Well, I mean, and that's why I kind of pedaled back from Metroid Prime. We can leave it at like Super Metroid, 2D side scroller.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know if that would be less appealing to her or not. Honestly.
Really? Maybe Wolfenstein?
She's just very specific. She played Wolfenstein for a while, like that style of game. So like her absolute favorite game is Hexen. I don't know if you know that one.
Never heard of it.
It's based on the same engine as Doom.
Okay.
And or have you heard of Heretic, perhaps?
Yes.
It's a sequel of Heretic.
Okay.
I don't know if you'd call it a spiritual sequel or not. It's in the same universe, and
so I mean, it's not directly following the events of Hexen.
Heretic or Heretic. Heretic is like the prequel to Hexen. Is probably the way to put that.
Okay. So kind of like what Prometheus was to Alien, almost.
Yeah. Whereas like you'd hear about events that happened in the past game that kind of influence bits of the current game.
Right.
Like that. Like Hexen's like kind of like that appealing aspect of that she likes of Doom, only more because it's like much bigger. Maps that she has to explore, and like they're hub worlds as opposed to like just strict levels like Doom is.
Gotcha.
So like you turn a lever in one room and then you get text saying you hear a door is opened in the far away places. And
so like D&D type deal.
Yeah.
Built into a game.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of like actually like a some text-based adventure kind of stuff in it.
And just so everyone's clear, we're talking about games and software that wouldn't have had a problem running on a Commodore 64.
Yes.
Or a Macintosh 2 or whatever it was.
Play these on your calculator nowadays if you wanted.
That's the scary part. My TI-83 can play Doom. So, all right. Well, that's a little bit of the background on Chenko and Chenko's mom's love for Doom. So let's kind of dive in. Let's come forward about 20, 30 years. So Chenko and I are huge Destiny players. We've been playing it ever since it came out. We've been following it since before then. I think you were part of the alpha.
Yeah.
And you were part of the beta as well. And I got in on the beta level. And holy crap. Like, what a game. It's now for people who are listening to this, you probably already know what Destiny is, so we won't take the time to explain it today. If you want, that could be a different episode. But it's kind of a game changer, wouldn't you say? In terms of play, in terms of replay, and what we've seen up until now.
Yeah, like I kind of see it as like an evolution of like kind of combining some elements that you found like with like mobile gaming market with like a more mainstream video game market in some ways.
Now, what do you mean when you say the mobile gaming market?
Like mobile gaming market, a lot of the things that are used to like appeal to like the customer base are like short, interesting interactions. So that can range from anything to like if we're gonna use Destiny as an example, the randomly generated loot and
RNG.
yeah, like decrypting engrams and finding out what you get, like small little bits of like surprise, disappointment, happiness, anger, depending on if you're searching for that one exotic or not.
The Zen meteor. Okay, I get you. The microtransaction model without the microtransactions.
Yeah, and just like the game with life kind of built into it too. Just so like it's constantly, I wouldn't say it's constantly changing. That's probably a poor way to describe it, but like.
But it's being updated.
And like activities have like a time limit to them, an expiration date to it, I guess you'd say.
The weekly reset.
Right.
Or time-based events like the Iron Banner only comes around once a month.
Right.
Trials of Osiris is every weekend.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Or the more seasonal stuff, the SRL. Or
Sparrow Racing League.
Or the, what's the Halloween one?
Oh, gosh. I should know. I should remember that. But
Festival of the Lost.
Festival of the Lost.
Is it?
I think that is. It sounds familiar.
But anyway, it's really like I kind of see Destiny as what Bungie may have originally wanted to do with Halo. Well, I mean now they're kind of forced to because Halo was beautiful in and of itself. Like Halo was a generation of gamers. You and I grew up playing Halo.
Yeah, so, my crack addiction before my current crack addiction.
Just repackaged crack.
Yeah.
Destiny was. It really seems like Bungie has polarized the gaming community because so many people either love or hate this game, and there seems to be no in between. Like you may get some people who are like, oh, I love this game, and then they fall away for a few months and then they come back, but they're never like, oh, I hate that game. They're coming back in saying, oh, I still love this game, but now there's more to do.
Yeah, I feel like it just kind of, it's like this big split down to based on what appeals to like you as a video gamer.
Yeah.
Like Destiny, like you can make the argument like it's not very big like story content, I'll say.
Oh, but we want it. We want it so badly.
Right. But like if you're going to talk about like strictly of like the game mechanics, the shooting, the supers and all that, like that feels really good, and that's the aspect I personally like.
So solid.
Yeah.
Like I mean, there are going to be arguments all the live long day. Like, is Thorn still overpowered? Is Meta Multi-Tool overpowered just because it's the most like balanced gun in the game? Like, people are going to argue that it's the internet. Whatever.
Sure.
Let's kind of get past the fact. The fact of the matter is that Bungie and their team are constantly updating this beautiful game, and they listen to the feedback, they listen to the community, and for better or worse, they make changes to the game that make us continually want to come back. They change the way weapons work. They tweak network settings. They add to the UI. They take away from the UI, And that's going to be it for the first part of the first episode of Stark's Armory. My thoughts and Chenko's thoughts on Destiny, where it's come and where it's going. Just so everyone knows, we had decided to do a two-part episode just because we had captured 45 minutes of audio, and we know how short of an attention span the internet has. So we figured a two-part episode would probably go over best. Just a couple quick housekeeping notes. The video you have been watching, the first 12 minutes have been Chenko's gameplay in the Crucible, and this last few minutes have been mine, just to see our play styles and just to have something nice going on while you guys are listening to us talk. That being said, I want to thank everyone for watching this video, listening to our conversation. If you could do me a big favor, hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this and would like to hear more. This has been kind of a dream of mine, so I just kind of hope to keep that dream alive. And with that, I will just say again, thank you for watching part 1. Part 2 will be coming very soon.
and we'll see you around the Armory.